Hey guys, still here and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnought. It's Alpha 3, which means that relative to the previous version a lot of stuff has changed, and if you haven't caught up with that yet, then be sure to do so through the link in the video description, which gives you a quick summary of all the changes to the game. Now, one of the good things that the game has introduced in Alpha 3 is a new mission, Sink the Cruiser Killer. An experimental battle cruiser of Japanese technologies destroying our convoys. It's unclear what the capabilities of this ship are, but it's rumored to be unstoppable versus smaller cruisers. This is why it's been nicknamed the Cruiser Killer. Your mission is to trace and sink this ship. Don't let it get away. You can risk attacking the enemy with a number of your best heavy cruisers or one of your own experimental designs. That's freely interpreted there. 4 destroyers will assist your effort. The enemy has 5 destroyers to assist them. Now I'm going to boost technology. I have 2 hours and 10 minutes, 210 minutes, in which time I only need to sink the battlecruiser. So if the destroyers happen to come into my path, sucks to be them, but otherwise I will not prioritize them. Let's go with boost technology and start. I already had a design, but I'm going to go for a new one. This can go with either the modern battlecruiser or the heavy cruiser. I'm going to go with the modern battlecruiser. And I have quite a lot of cash, 90 million. So let's see what I can put on here. I can get the Modern Tower 1 for 7 million. And you got a bit of flexibility on where you want this exactly. But if you up the displacement, you get a bit more flexibility. I said enthusiastically and then found out that that was not entirely true. Because I thought that with that additional displacement, I would get these 2 slots available as well, but unfortunately not so much. I only have this one. Alright, so be it. Now I'm fighting a battlecruiser, which means it's going to be probably quite fast, quite mobile, and assumedly very dangerous. So I will need defense, I will need accuracy, and I will need my own destroyers to keep the enemy destroyers at bay. So that means that I want something that's fast and heavily protected. Starting with the latter, let's first set up the propulsion. The best speed, best horsepower per ton is the double-geared steam turbines, which allows me to speed up and slow down faster. I'm going to go with oil, less interference of my smokestacks, and forced boilers. Auxiliary engine. I have a good amount of cash, and I don't mind if I just get 1 battlecruiser. So let's just up everything to max first. Krupp 4 armor, Barbette 4 armor. I don't want to pull a hood and get detonated. Torpedo protection. I don't want to have this thing slow me down too much. Let's go with torpedo protection 2. Double bottom hull, more resistance, and if a torpedo hits, it's going to do less damage. Bulkheads. Let's go for reinforced 2. Before I forget, range to minimum, bulkheads to maximum. What else? Anti-flooding systems. Let's go for anti-flood 2. And Citadel, I want a turtleback armor to give me 15% more resistance. There. Alright, now I still have 21,000 tons left. Before I can add guns, I first want to have a funnel. Let's go for 2 mega funnels. That's probably way too much capacity, but that's alright. It gives me a bit of redundancy here. Now, what else? Let's go for heavy or super heavy shells, because they give you more gun range and more shell penetration. A standard complement of ammo should do, and I'm immediately going to go for high TNT. More advanced TNT propellant. This is going to give me more shell penetration and 12% more shell damage. And keep in mind that does stack with the super heavy shells. Loading. Auto-loaders. 35% bonus to gun reload time. They will get heavier, but that is survivable. Now, I could install torpedoes, and I might do that later, but for now I just want to focus on the guns. This is going to make those guns more accurate, and also spot the enemy cruiser killer faster. Gen 2 radar. Rangefinder. Stereoscopic. Long-range gun accuracy. Radio. Yeah, let's go for radio direction finding to give me the best chances of finding the enemy. Okay then, on to the guns. I can fit 18-inch guns on this ship. which actually have a reload of only 46.5 seconds. That is really impressive for a gun like that, an 18-inch. Now I could fit a couple of dual barrels. I don't know if I can get this ship balanced though, because that is a lot of weight to be placing on the bow. Yeah, and I'm over budget. Also, I think it looks quite weird having guns this bad, or this big on the ship. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but no. I want it to look a little better. Maybe 16 inchers. A triple 16-inch setup. Preferably 2 on the bow, 1 on the stern. Because I intend to be chasing that ship. Not have it chase me, so I'll need more guns on the bow than I do on the stern. And I'm already over budget. Maybe I'm going to have to go without the radar or radio direction finding. That saves me about 4,000. Because I still need armor. Now the ship is fast at 36 knots. If you really want to, you can slide this up to 49 knots. But you would need a lot more cash. 49 knots, guys. That is... in kilometers per hour? 49 knots... That's about a 1.9 ratio, I think. So that's about, let's say, 100 kph. Give or take. That is how fast this cruiser would go. Which is just mental. I don't need that much speed. I think 36, maybe 35 knots is fine. Because I still need to tack on a bit of armor and potentially some secondaries. Because there is the threat of enemy destroyers. And secondary supposedly has been, or have been buffed. So let's put on a couple of 5-inch dual barrel. I was hoping I could fit those inside those mounts there, but apparently that doesn't fit. Do the 4-inch fit? No, I can put the 4-inch on these slots though. 4-inch dual barrel. Really only effective at about 5,000 meter range. If something gets to 5,000 meter range, I'm already going to have a severe problem with torpedoes, because it's going to be a destroyer. I could, however, set up my own torpedo launchers. I can set these, well, in some pretty interesting spots, probably. Yeah, I can have forward-firing torpedo tubes. Like that. What sort of type and propulsion can I give these? I can give them fast or electric. These are going to cost me range. These are going to give me more speed, but also less range. And the standard torps might be best, although... The AI usually responds pretty heavily to standard torps, but electric not so much. It is a penalty of 15%. That would be 12 clicks. Give or take a few. If I up the torpedo diameter to 23... No, it's still 14, so 12. So I could send out torpedoes directly ahead. If I'm chasing a ship... These would charge the ship with a speed of 46 knots, which is slightly faster than my ship, but not a whole lot. Well, whatever. I'm just going to leave these on and see what happens. Now, 4 weight offset is still a little bit. I do like to balance my ships out as best I can. And of course, now the torpedo tubes happen to be getting in the way. I have to weight offset there. But I think I need to slide it slightly farther back because I also want to add the torpedo tubes. If I go with a 5 launcher, that doesn't fit. A 4? Yeah, a 4 fits. Good. I have to weight offset 1.6%. So now we're actually a little heavier towards the stern, interestingly. Could I make this thing slightly smaller, because I might not need all that displacement. And that would allow me to tack on 10,000 points worth of armor, or 10,000 cash. 16-inch guns, triple turret. Bring that all that weight back. And there. That's it. I could even make it smaller. But I think at some point the superstructure is going to start protesting about making this ship smaller. Some parts are badly placed. Yeah, that's the aft turret. I'm actually quite surprised that the game hasn't been protesting yet. 4 weight offsets, 2.4%. I don't know if I can move this thing farther back. No, that's about as good as it's going to get. There. So I will have a 4 weight offset, considering that I cannot move this thing further back. I could, however, tack on additional weight to the stern, which would probably balance the ship a little better. Although not as much as I'd hoped. Oh, actually, 0.6. I can live with that. Unfortunately, my cost is still quite high. That is... yeah, that's the torpedo launchers. That was 4 million in torpedo launchers. No. I would much prefer to invest that in armor. Now, these guns have a range of 40 kilometers. They have a range of 40 kilometers, but they probably won't hit anything at 40 kilometers. I'm actually reliably going to hit stuff around 17,000 meters. So 17 to 15 kilometers out. So that would mean that there is a chance of plunging fire. Fire coming in directly from above. So let's up the turret armor. Especially the turret top. 5-inch. And that is with a 110% armor quality buff. Deck extended. Extends bow and stern, making it better protected against plunging fire. Received from the front or rear. This is going to be important because I will be chasing the enemy. Most likely. Now, what is my own plunging fire capability at 16-inch? It's a lot. I can punch through 8.6 inches of armor. I do get 110% bonus. So I'm already sporting 10-inch armor. But, oh, actually, don't put everything there. I also need to do the main deck armor. Let's put this on 5... and that on 5-inch, so that should protect me relatively well. I don't have any secondaries. Torpedo launchers are not considered secondaries, they're just considered very explosive. Because more often than not, I have had these things go up on me. Oh, we have a 4 weight offset again. Really? How? Is that because I added all that armor? Oh, right. I have 2 turrets on the front. And that weight was going into the turrets. Yeah. Maybe I need to just reconsider my torpedo tube setting. Or make the ship even smaller, but I'm not sure how much smaller I can do. 40,000 tons? 41? 40,000 tons. Surprised it hasn't shrunk yet. There. That's the limit. If I go below 40,000, the game starts protesting about my bow turret. Which means that I might still be able to place this thing down. Now I have a massive aft weight offset. Really? So I would need to place this turret further forward. And with that, the superstructure as well. Well, the superstructure is locked into place. I cannot move the superstructure. I'm gonna go back to that 40,000 ton displacement and hopefully leveling stuff out like that. A 16 over there. 0.3. See, I don't want to show too much broadside. That's the thing. I don't want to show too much broadside. And I kind of like torpedo launchers, as you might have gathered, but they're not the end-all be-all. Although they are nice. They are nice. They're 23-inch torpedoes. Screw it. Let's do it. We're running with this. Now, I still have a bit of weight left. So let's put on some additional armor. Because why not? 6-inch deck armor. 6-inch deck extended armor. Belt extended. I hope not to need this, but I'd rather have it and not need it than the other way around. 7-inch belt extended, 7-inch belt armor. Alright, turret top armor. Can I get to 7? Yes. So it has almost all-round 7-inch armor, plus 100%. Or 110 even. 6... No, that's the limit. Alright, I think it's time to take this ship to war. We are sporting 3 turrets with 16-inch guns each. The Marchesa-class battlecruiser. Launch. Requesting... Missing required mount modern tower secondary 4BC battlecruiser. Right, does it work? Yeah, okay, it does work. Smoke spotted southeast. We need to turn the fleet around. What are my helpers? They have 5-inch guns and 2-inch guns and torpedoes. Sporting a range of 14 kilometers, plus 5%. They got a single launcher? How does that work? Oh yeah. Look at that, that's a curious design. They got a torpedo tube on each side and a couple of torpedo tubes amidships. And then they have their 5-inch guns, of which they have 8 in 4 different turrets. And the 2-inch guns on the side. Curious design. Anyway, let's see if I can find the enemy. Game says here. How fast are my escorts? 31 knots. Oh. Slow down. Actually slow down a bit more. I want the DDs to start scouting for me. Now, until I know exactly what I'm shooting at, I want to fire with HE. And I have found that it takes a little longer for you to actually identify enemy warships. Which means that you don't quite know what their armor scheme is or what their armament is. Other than just by trying to identify it. There they are. Just trying to look at it and more or less getting a reading on what sort of armor or what sort of armament that likely is. Armor is something you just can't quite spot. Alright, we have our target. So this is the supposed cruiser killer that's been harassing our ships. That is a lot of armament on that ship. Now supposedly, I haven't been spotted yet. So let's slow all the way down. Let the destroyers charge in. The Giacomo Medici. And let the Marchesa just do some range work. It's currently at an accuracy of 3.5%. Probably just going for a couple of identifying ranging shots. Nothing yet. Okay, I have been spotted. The enemy knows where I am. And might turn to starboard to get all those guns to bear. Which would be a bit of a problem. Still, my destroyers are charging in. This thing is coming at me at a good speed. I'm at 22.9 kilometers out. So, the destroyers, if they go aggressive with the torpedoes, could get some good hits fairly early on, or at least force the ship to turn, making it either more of a threat or less of a threat, depending on where I want it. Alright, let's have these ships duke it out for a bit. Still no hits, but that's to be expected. 4%, 20 kilometers out. I'm a bit nervous about all those guns. Oh, nice. Destroyed a secondary gun, set him on fire. He is hiding between the smoke screens. And he's definitely returning fire. Look at that, identification, only 19%. We're going to be here a while. I've taken some hits, but only structural damage. Now, I actually managed to pen him with an HE round. Against my expectations. How's the Marchesa? Now, something else that I haven't quite highlighted yet. The guns, when they're reloading, they go back to their horizontal position. When they're ready, they go back up. Watch this. Elevating the guns. Firing. I like that. It's that little touch that makes the game just a little better. Okay. Destroyers. Couple destroyers inbound. That's a triple 5-inch gun, potentially. A whole load of funnels. Torpedoes on the stern. And another, what I think is another 5-inch turret. Range, 15 kilometers. Not a priority. That is a lot of shells coming in. I'm hoping that my armor is going to keep deflecting that for a while. And I'm really not interested in closing the distance too much. Now, you're seeing one big ricochet over here. So that means that a shell hit the hull. Didn't actually do any damage and just ricocheted off. How's that warship doing? Done some damage to it. Let's try an AP round. Or an AP salvo. Identification's only halfway still. There are the destroyers. I want you to come right and put up a smoke screen in front of the battlecruiser. This guy is at 12. I could torp him if I really wanted to, but my chances to actually hit him are still fairly bad. That was a hit. It was a penetration. But seemingly didn't do a whole lot of damage. Look at that. He also got a really big ricochet dent on his hull there. Looks like I already destroyed one of the secondaries. That must have been the secondary gun that got destroyed. The secondaries are trained on me, but are probably not in range yet. Alright, let's set the smoke screen. I want you to go aggressive on the torpedoes. Torpedoes away. Let's just get these things something to concern themselves with. Engine damaged. Flooding on the heavy cruiser here. The cruiser killer is being killed by a cruiser. In which case I would have a cruiser killer. I think. Something like that. It's taken some damage, but it's still very much fighting back. ID is about 87% done, so soon I'm going to get more intel on this ship. What do you have, and what sort of armament are you carrying? How's that salvo doing? Harmlessly bouncing off. Perfectly fine. Alright, keep firing and keep fighting. There. Battlecruiser Delaware, 51,000 tons displacement. Top speed 38.5 knots. Maximum bulkheads, 7-inch armor, plus 98%. So let's just give him 14, flat. Chance to pen. Well, I don't even know, because the game's not allowing me to show you that. Normally you get this overview saying how much of an accurate, or how much of a pen chance you have. But I'm not getting that. Swarms of torpedoes are also meeting the destroyers head on. That should keep them busy. There. Chance to pen, 87%. But that's with AP, I think. Or sorry, with HE. No, actually that's with AP. 87% chance to pen with AP. Ricochet chance low. Because I'm almost flat onto him. In reverse, well, I am angling, but I do want to get a little bit more of my bow into him. Because I invested in all that bow armor. And now I want to use it. Alright, let's see if my accuracy's gone up. 27%. We're getting somewhere. All the destroyers are here. And my destroyers need to come around and start screening, and do so quickly. Because otherwise I'm going to have to concern myself with these destroyers first, and I really don't want to. Torpedoes detected. A couple of torpedoes rushing past the hull. I really would hate to turn around, but I might have to, just for a bit. Because those DDs are coming awfully close. Oh, we're actually fighting the destroyers now. The Marchesa has decided that this destroyer up here is currently more of a threat. Now we're going to meet these destroyers head on with the other destroyers. What sort of armor scheme do you have? Chance to pen, 99%, but I'm going to go with HE. You can usually blow these things right out of the water with an HE shell. Increase the flank, make a left turn. There you go, that's one. He took a torpedo. The Fiske. We're going to resume fighting the battlecruiser. Hold. We're not going to make that turn. We're going to go steady. Oh shit, I lost my fire control. Accuracy is still 35% though. Destroyers. Completely mismanaged those. Whoa! The Delaware has sunk. It might have detonated. It might have detonated. Unfortunately, I couldn't really show you that because I was too occupied with fighting the destroyers. But the Delaware is no more. I really wanted to show you that. Anyway, really nice design. It worked out. All that armor. This was the 16-inch triple turrets on the bow. The stern one, you could argue, wasn't even needed. And the armor was just 6 and 7-inch all around, plus 110% quality. Rangefinders plus radar do nicely. I don't think I even got to fire a single torp, so I could do without the torpedoes. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Soon more on the battlecruisers, the battleships, whatever else I can dream up. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.